Hello everyone. The teardown I'm bringing you all today is of the AYANEO Pocket Micro 2nd generation, which was recently released by AYANEO. Upon getting my hands on the 2nd generation, my immediate impression is that, compared to the first, the entire layout of the machine's buttons has been drastically altered. This alteration is genuinely excellent, because when you press them, I believe it's far more comfortable to use your knuckles. Wouldn't you agree? It's a significant improvement. And unlike before, where you had to dig in and press, now you can simply use your knuckles to press it. Furthermore, the inner buttons are elevated, unlike the original integrated buttons. Later, with the release of the joystickless version, these integrated buttons were replaced by separate ones, which offers superior comfort because their varying heights provide a tactile sensation, effectively preventing accidental presses during use. Moreover, the buttons on this entire machine have reverted to the Asus style, resembling its original design and feel. And the overall build quality of the device is still top-notch. The metal casing has a really nice feel. Now, let's go ahead and dismantle it, to see if there are any further, more detailed optimizations implemented inside. On the back, there are still 4 hex socket screws, just as before, you see. Once the 4 screws are out, we pry off the back casing. Now, this back casing is quite a bit tricky. We'll definitely need to use a suction cup. Alright, once we've successfully made an initial opening, we can then carefully and slowly work around the edges with our pry tool, gently separating it. Understood. This way, we can avoid causing any damage to the internal components while ensuring a smooth removal of the casing. It's crucial to proceed with caution to prevent any accidental slips or scratches that might affect the device's aesthetics or functionality. Take your time, apply steady pressure, and ensure a clean separation along the seams. Okay. Once we slide it open, hey, that's really great! This time the antenna isn't stuck to the casing. On the 1st generation, the antenna was actually attached to the casing, so now we can just easily take the casing right off. We can see its internal structure is still very compact, but the layout seems much more logical. First, take out the middle fan part. We can see a few Phillips head screws on top. First, let's remove those screws. The design underneath is actually suspended, creating a floating impression, so it gives that lifted sensation. It's essentially just a decorative cover plate, serving absolutely no other functional purpose beyond its aesthetics. There's a screw for the fan here. Let's remove it. After taking out the fan, here's the fan ribbon cable. We'll gently pull it out. On the surface, there's a cushioning pad here, specifically designed to effectively reduce the noise generated by the fan's vibration. And then, after observing it a bit, we discovered this is the heatsink. There are a total of 3 screws for the heatsink. 1, 2, 3. We'll start by removing this heatsink because the battery's ribbon cable is directly underneath it. Alright, what we've discovered is that its CPU is covered with thermal paste, unlike the phase change pads that are typically found in other machines. Alright, so this part right here should be the battery ribbon cable. We need to disconnect the power first. Okay, now that's done, the entire device has been completely de-energized. Now we can proceed with the teardown without any worries. Over here we have the Wi-Fi antenna, and on both sides there are cover plates. We'll start disassembling from both sides. Gently pry up the Wi-Fi antenna, and as for this black antenna wire, it has a channel it runs through, so we'll carefully lift it out of that channel. With that done, the Wi-Fi antenna is now successfully removed. Then, on both sides there are cover plates, each with 3 screws. Let's loosen them. It won't come off easily. I found 4 screws on this side. So there might be yet another screw concealed beneath this vibration motor. Let's attempt to gently pry up the motor and examine what lies underneath. Sure enough, there's another screw under the motor, so each side cover plate should have 4 screws. These particular screws, if they're not removed, will interfere with each other. There's a side button here on this cover plate. We can now remove the cover of this card slot as well, and there's a card inside, so we'll carefully take that out too. Then we'll proceed to remove the cover on the other side. Okay, now that all 4 screws have been taken out, I'm going to attempt to pry this cover plate once more, but it appears this isn't a small independent cover as I originally believed it to be. This time, the fingerprint lock, the fingerprint switch, and the volume and power buttons all came off with it. Then we can clearly see 3 dome switches on top. What remains are these 2 side cover plates. And there should be 2 screws. Yes, 2 screws on top. Okay, remove it. Over here is the joystick. When removing the joystick, remember to flip up this latch. Over here on this side, there's also a clasp or a latch. We're gonna pry that up first, and then we'll unscrew the 2 screws that are underneath it. So now, with the majority of the external coverings finally taken off, we can proceed to unscrew and carefully remove the circuit board. This right here is the speaker's ribbon cable. We actually need to remove this circuit board first because I have a strong feeling there's still something on the side of the speaker, most likely the buttons situated on the front bezel. So we'll remove the circuits on both sides first, then the speaker. Each side of the button board has a screw securing it. And then here we have a ribbon cable connecting the left and right sides. Then there's another ribbon cable here. And we've removed the cover plate for the left D-pad. We can clearly see its buttons are thoughtfully arranged in a unique Y-shaped pedal-like pattern. Then this side, we're going to pop open the 2 ribbon cable latches that are located at the top. Then gently pry it from the inside. The ABXY buttons utilize a 4-pedal contact design. At this point, you can remove the conductive rubber, the D-pad, the conductive rubber from this side, and finally the ABXY buttons. This time, the ABXY and D-pad are both the same as the S model. Let's take out the side buttons as well. This side is LC. And over here is the RC. This time, I observed that these shoulder buttons actually clip directly onto the outer casing. They have an internal latch mechanism, so it's not a screw-in type. Alright, so let's go ahead and carefully remove this latch clip, shall we? We've removed the shoulder button, and next is the motherboard in the middle. Let's gently lift up those ribbon cables. The motherboard is also held by 1 screw. No, not one, there's another one here. We've taken out the motherboard. Now, let's take a look at the back. It's almost entirely covered by shielding. There's a Qualcomm chip right here, and these are all Qualcomm chips too. They likely manage various communication functions and a series of other operations. The actual CPU and storage chips are on the front. It looks like we should remove the joystick's light diffuser first. This right here is actually the complete joystick module. And now, at this point in time, we're going to try and remove this speaker from its position. This side's tricky, probably won't come out without taking the battery out first. The speaker's ribbon cable is still adhered to the outer casing. You could try to gently pull it off, or perhaps carefully heat it up and then pry it loose. Either method could work. Now we can finally remove these side buttons, both the select button and the start button. For this button over here, we have to pry up the battery. Let's try to pry the battery out. The battery's adhesive here is minimal, making it very easy to pry up. They likely designed it this way for simpler maintenance and easier repairs later on, hence its very streamlined construction this time around. And over on this side, you'll find the A button along with the mode switch button. And with that, we've successfully completed the teardown of this AYANEO Pocket Micro 2 device. And through this teardown, I've actually discovered that Uncle Tail has genuinely made some improvements to the workmanship on this particular device. I recall when I dismantled the first generation, its internal stacking was incredibly complex, with numerous nested layers, roughly 3 circuit boards deep. This time, even in such a small space, they've adhered to a standard handheld layout, a central motherboard with button circuit boards on both sides. They've discarded all those complicated stacked components. I'd say that's a significant improvement for Uncle Tail, and the modularity is also quite high. While there's still many ribbon cables, it's far more streamlined than before. That concludes this teardown. Thank you all for watching, and we'll definitely catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye now.